Are less and less huge project management approaches? If not, how do they differ from traditional project management? Now, projects are widely used and rather brilliant in some situations. With projects, we are trying to control something. We are trying to fix certain variables and increase our confidence that we can do something in a specific time, for a specific cost, probably, and with a certain thing delivered at the end. Dare I say the word scope? And we know that in our world of technology and software, and even outside in any domain which may be seen as complex, that trying to control things in this way rarely turns out exactly how we had predicted. And the reason for this is because as we start going through the tasks, working towards this list of scope items that we've decided on, we learn things. And as we learn things, then we kind of want to adapt, or at least have to adapt in some situations. So when we are thinking about traditional project management, what we're trying to do is, some may say this is a rather arrogant approach to doing this, but we're trying to predict what's going to happen. And almost you find in some situations that learning is avoided a little bit. We don't want to learn too much if we're delivering a project, if we want to keep to those golden three things that we defined at the beginning, the scope, the time frame, and the budget. So projects at times don't really embrace learning. Now, there's always exceptions. You can flame me if you want in comments, send me an email, whatever you like. I'm aware that there are always exceptions. But this approach to project management, this perhaps rather arrogant approach to project management, we know doesn't work, since Winston Royce came up with the waterfall approach and we based our projects around this tiered structure of the production of artifacts and delaying the verification of a hypothesis, like what we think is going to happen, leaving it to the end. And we know that that's worked increasingly less. So less is a different approach to that. You can't really on many levels compare less directly to traditional project management, and the same goes for less huge. Less is a very humble approach to creating these complex products and these complex environments. We accept that we will learn, and because of that we embrace Scrum and empirical process control, because we know that as we learn we will want things to change. So let's learn in very short focused cycles. Let's use Scrum. Let's have sprint planning. Let's execute upon that plan. Let's learn how we go. Let's not fall into the trap of thinking that exactly what we decided we would do at the beginning will be exactly what we will get at the end. Let's focus more on outcomes. Let's focus more on the user's needs. And as we focus more on these things, any ability we have to try and define a date up front, or a budget, or a list of scope items will generally fail. Less embraces that we have to get organizations and teams and collections of teams, however you want to phrase it. What we have to do is create a collective understanding of the needs and the problems, and then create a collective agreement and alignment on exactly how we will increasingly meet those needs. And less is designed for this. Less is designed for learning and for adaptability. Less is designed to always make sure we can find the most valuable things by having a single product backlog, so that we can embrace the fact that things will change. In less, we won't come up with a detailed plan which lasts for months and months and months, because we know that it will change. In less, we accept that every team is unique and every organization is unique, so we allow them to find their own way of doing these things and build them up. Add little bits to the less framework if they feel they really need to. So comparisons between traditional project management and less huge are always going to be flawed, because they're designed for very different things. And I'm not saying that projects have no place. They absolutely do. But in the modern world that we find ourselves in, when we are embracing teams and we want to adapt and we want to increase transparency and flexibility and adaptability, then we should choose frameworks like Less, which are designed for that and minimize the number of projects that we're doing. Now, I've gone on record a few times and will continue to go on record to say that project management still has its place and project managers still have their place. I think that in Less environments, having people who have those skills and experience can be invaluable. So I am not beating up on anybody here. I just wanted to make clear that Less and Less Huge and traditional project management, they're not the same thing and they're used for different purposes. Let me know what you think. I'd love to know. Thanks for listening.